Hey everyone, welcome to Murphy's Law Garage. Uh, as you can imagine, being a YouTube channel, we get a lot of emails in our inbox asking for product reviews. Some of them I'm very leery about, and I do a lot of research on the companies and such to make sure that they seem to be legitimate, so on and so forth. This is one of the companies that reached out to us. Normally I stick with like big known name brands. Like a good example is Foxwell with this IR gun that we just recently did a product review on. And I haven't heard of Lamtto or Lamtto. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that, but it's for one of these Android CarPlay type units that you can put in your vehicle that doesn't have CarPlay to convert it to have CarPlay. In the case of the vehicle has no screen. Obviously, there's plenty of companies that make them for vehicles with screens, including Lamtto. But there really isn't big brand names for this sort of stuff, right? So if you want one of these screens or CarPlay adapters, you really have to use one of the many anonymous names there are on the internet. So I checked out their website. I'm going to, of course, link them down below. They've got a legitimate website. They sell a ton of like motorcycle CarPlay screens, and if you've already got a screen in a car, CarPlay adapters, so you can turn your screen into CarPlay. Initially, they offered me a different product, but I don't have a motorcycle, or my cars that do have screens, they already have CarPlay. So the only thing that came to mind here is my company vehicle that I use is old school and just has a radio with a CD player. And this sort of thing is useful, of course, for GPS and playing music and stuff like that for long road trips. So I looked on their site and found something, and luckily they were interested in letting me check this one out. This one specifically is the RC29, and it is a screen that does CarPlay and Android Auto and all that fun stuff, but it also, which is different because I had an older unit in my company car that didn't, it also has like YouTube and Netflix and all of that built into it as well. So even if you just have an internet connection to feed it, you don't even have to do CarPlay. You can still like watch videos and stuff like that on it. It has a built-in speaker, but it supports auxiliary input, FM, Bluetooth. My company vehicle is so old it doesn't even have Bluetooth. Like the only way I can interact with it is through FM. So the FM transceiver is really cool. That's a pretty unique feature. And I think these things, if they aren't already popular, I mean, at least from my experience, are really useful when you drive an old beater for work. Or I'm not judging anyone here. Let's say your daily driver, your normal car is older and you don't have CarPlay. The beauty of something like this is that you can add CarPlay to anything that has a radio. And well, just about everything except for very old vehicles have radios, and even then usually people add them. Now I've gone ahead and stuck a lot of this stuff back on. You can see that the screen is dirty because I've had it in that vehicle doing some testing. I don't show stuff to you unless I've done a whole bunch of testing on it, and this is really no different. I've gone in and I've used it, I've abused it, I've connected it. You see there's a brand new iPhone here that's recording this right now, an iPhone 17. And something that I was cautious about is that my older CarPlay adapter that I had, a screen like this, it was smaller by the way, it wasn't working with my new iPhone, iOS 26, iPhone 17. It would, but then it would cut out and come back, cut out and come back. I updated the firmware, everything, nothing. Just didn't want to. My guess is that their firmware support wasn't up to date with the newest CarPlay standard. And this one I'm happy to report, which is a big deal for me because I take some pretty long road trips in my company vehicle, has been working great. So I had it suction cupped inside my vehicle. I'm probably going to do the permanent mount from now on, which is nice. I like the fact that they've got the flexi permanent mount on it. I don't really like the suction cup mounts because I don't like it being up on the windshield. With this, I can put it on the dash right above the factory radio, and it's out of the way. Inside of the box, we've got all kinds of things, and I've packaged everything back up again so you can see what it looked like. Here's the suction cup mount that I was using before. You've got the charge cable that you plug into the power port of your vehicle, your cigarette lighter, and it's got a USB-C that feeds power. This one comes with a rear view camera. Now, my company vehicle does have a rear view camera, so I haven't connected this, but I also know that this is a much higher resolution than what's in my company vehicle and would play on the big screen. So now that I'm going to be permanently connecting it, I'm going to be using the camera. We'll show you that in a second. It also comes with an aux cable. That's nice included. And they've got wire management stuff here, as well as a trim tool and an extra adhesive just in case the adhesive on the flexi mount were to give up on you. They've also got a nice suction cup mount for whenever you can stick it to your dash and use the suction cup if you don't want to use the adhesive here, as well as an instruction manual. I found no need really to use the instruction manual myself. Everything here was pretty self-explanatory. So just so I can show you how it works and all that fun stuff, I'm going to go ahead and get a temporary setup done on the bench here so that you can see it boot up. Clearly, I'm not going to show this to you inside of my company vehicle, but I can shoot much better video here in the shop. So let me get it turned on and I'll show you how it all works. Hey everyone, sorry to interrupt that awesome video that you're watching, but I need to take a minute to talk about our channel's sponsor, CarLock. I don't know if you know this, but approximately every 3 seconds in the US, a vehicle is stolen. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be part of that statistic. And CarLock is here to help you not become part of that statistic. How? Well, they sell a both OBD2 and hardwired version of a GPS tracking device that is 4G LTE enabled. Oh, but wait, there's more. It sends real-time notifications to your smartphone to say things like, hey, vibration has been detected. The door has been opened. Hey, your device has been disconnected. Someone's trying to steal it. Oh no, your engine has started. And even worse, your vehicle is now in motion and you didn't do it. And having those types of notifications for my project cars give me serious peace of mind. And they will for you too. Now, they also sell extension cables and splitters if you want to hide your OBD2 device under the dash, as well as extra sensors to increase your level of security if you so choose to. And for a short time, you're going to get a discount on your device. Well, down below, I'm going to have a code. First code is going to be for 10% off of CarLock's Amazon store. Second code is going to be for 14 free days of service. Y'all go check that out. Thank you very much, CarLock, for sponsoring this video here today. Y'all pick one up to help support the channel. Let's get back to the video. All right, so I have it set up here on the bench. I've got my bench power supply running at 14 volts, and the unit on startup drawed about 4/10 of an amp, and right now it's settled around 2 to 3/10 an amp, depending on what it's doing. If that's useful information to you at all. Power draw is pretty low here at 4 watts. It's a really responsive touch screen here. You can see just the, try not to upset my wiring here, but you can see just the quality of the picture is very, very pretty. And it's also very responsive when moving around through settings and stuff like that. The user display kind of reminds me of Android. So I have to imagine, obviously, more than likely, that this is actually running on Android. Let me actually crank the brightness here for you so you can see it like that. It's on auto, so it was lowered down, but the screen is very, very bright. And like I said, it is very responsive and quick. You can see here on the right-hand side that it's got YouTube, it's got Netflix, it's got TikTok, YouTube Music. It's got VLC player, so you can put media in it. Yes, it does have a micro SD card slot. It's here on the back. I don't want to rotate it over. I'm going to end up unplugging it from the bench power supply. I've also got it wired up so that I can show you the backup camera. Let me touch that real quick. And then, boop, the backup camera pops in. You can see my hand here. See, it's a nice refresh rate. It looks to me, I'd say that the refresh rate on this is probably somewhere around 20 to 30, which is plenty for backing up. Resolution's good. Let me turn the light on. Oop. I mean, not accidentally power it down. You can see here in the good light that looks really good. Let me put something colorful in front of it. It has the backup lines built into the image, which are adjustable, and they look good. So you can see how quick that is. Probably the biggest props I can give to this is that it's clearly got a processor in it that is large enough to move through images pretty quickly. I don't know if it actually says the processor on the image. Frankly, it doesn't matter, because as far as I'm concerned, you can put a huge processor and a bunch of RAM in something. It doesn't mean that it works worth a damn. And in this case, it's proven to actually work pretty darn well. So like, you can do split screen usage here. And I use this a good bit because as long as you give it a connection to the internet, you can actually play, like for instance, YouTube video or Netflix at the same time as the CarPlay is running, which, as you know, CarPlay won't let you do with YouTube or Netflix video. Of course, you don't do this while you're driving. That's not safe. But when you're parked or sitting, you can actually play video footage here. And I did, just for the sake of having been, holding still doing something else, testing it. It's got plenty of processor power to run both the CarPlay settings and the video at the same time. Again, don't do this while you're driving. This is only for while you're holding still. But I've had, really, really good success with it. It's, like I said, is super, super duper responsive. You can hear it's got that built-in speaker in it. I wish I had my old unit hanging around right here so that y'all could see just how slow and cumbersome it was. You see here that I'm running 2 screens at one time, and it kind of doesn't care. It loads everything up so quick whenever you're running through settings and stuff like that. So like right now, you can see I've got it showing YouTube fully. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than in a world full of junk on the internet, and trust me, I bought junk from the internet, something cheap off of Amazon. This guy right here is a little bit more expensive than your average unit, but definitely for good reason. It's got a really pretty display. It's a large display. It's way easier to see. My other one, it looks okay in low light, but let me turn the overhead light back on. The worst thing about the other one is that the screen isn't bright enough to deal with the glare of the environment of the inside of a car. So when it's bright outside, you can't see crap. It's fine at night when it's dark, but you can see here I've got my big overhead light on, very strong fluorescent light on overhead, and you can see this guy just fine. So, do I recommend? Yes. Lamtto is someone to look out for this sort of thing. It appears to be, maybe they're a broker for many products from different manufacturers. From the emails back and forth with them, they appear to be representing the manufacturers themselves, the people who reached out to me. It's good stuff. For the cost, I say it's worth every penny if you want to take your older vehicle and actually have some modern functionality. They do have some out on the market that have like tall screens, like, if you wanted to do something tall, but that's a problem because anywhere you put this screen on your dash, you're actually extending out into your field of view off the dash, like through your front windshield. And this one, by expanding the real estate left or right, this is actually really similar to the screen in the Mustang GT that I have, the new GT, in its ratio and the way that it splits the screen, where you have your functions off to one side and the CarPlay on the other. That actually makes it more usable, in my opinion, than a really tall screen. Just because when it's really tall, CarPlay is really not designed to have a bunch of stuff vertical as much as it is horizontal. So at least for me, in that old vehicle, this has worked out really well. And if you're curious or concerned about whether or not you're spending your money in the right place, I've been using this one for about a month now, like I said, in my vehicle, and I've not had any hitches. Hell, my Mustang drops audio in CarPlay more often than this has. Anyone who has CarPlay knows that, especially since the new iOS came out, it's a little goofy from time to time. This has actually been more reliable than the CarPlay in my Mustang, which to say that it's keeping up with Ford themselves is pretty impressive with the new sync. So if y'all are in the market looking for a CarPlay adapter, I'm going to have to say that this one specifically is Murphy's Law Garage approved. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like I said, aux cable, all that fun stuff. I've only used it for CarPlay. I haven't connected the aux cable, and it's done really well. So I guess the fact that I don't have a problem to report is a good sign. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something that was a little difficult. I'd like to tell them that I'd like to see this cable here, the power cable, to be a little bit longer. Though I was able to route this wire in such a way that I didn't have to look at it. I've not used the backup camera yet, but I do fully intend to connect it because it's a nice high resolution camera, and well, that makes the world a safer place when backing up. So if y'all have any questions about it, I'm gonna link it down below, as well as to their website and all the other different adapters they have. Just shoot me a message, ask some questions. But thank y'all for watching this video. If you're in the market, my followers, I recommend this one. As usual, we love you. God bless. Peace.